podcast about three generations that my girlfriend hates, and she's in the other room. I'm Atlas. I'm a millennial. Who else is with me?
I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel. I'm your Gen Xer.
I'm Kayla McDuff. I'm your Zoomer, and I'm sad that Atlas's girlfriend hates us, dude.
And our guest here today, she's a friend of mine. She hosts the Vino Mike in Los Angeles, California. Yeah. What was the name of the movie? It was
God's Not Dead 2.
Yeah, a very small role in God's Not Dead 2.
The first one. Yeah, the first one didn't really drive home how not dead God was, and they're like, bring it back. Let's go for round 2.
They should call it God Continues to Not Be Dead. That would have been a better name. It's kind of like how you have Matrix Reloaded. How is the third one not called Matrix Out of Bullets? You can't.
Oh, we're getting clever today. Okay, I see what the vibe is.
Listen, man, that's kicking a whole series while it's down. Have you heard how bad the last one is? I'm like,
oh my gosh, it was so bad. I was like jaw on the floor watching, but then I've seen some people that just loved it. Like they loved it. I was like, am I wrong?
Those people are weird.
Am I not able to keep up? And no, I really thought I was like, no.
Yeah.
No.
I find that a lot more, it's the best part about this time has been you can see how dumb certain people are, where you're like, oh, you'll just believe anything. You're like, that's exciting. Because you're like, I have to plan a story now, and I'm just going to start telling them random facts and see what sticks, just because, why not?
It was really prevalent. I feel like the last Matrix movie made it really obvious as to why they stole the original Matrix in the first place. Because I was like, oh, you can't write a story.
Wait, you mean stole? Like was stolen?
Say what?
The Matrix was stolen?
Yeah, there was a lawsuit. They stole it from a black woman that she there was a lawsuit about it a few years ago, and she won a few $1 million. They stole the original Matrix from her. She also alleges that a story that she wrote became the Terminator, I think, but there hasn't been a definitive lawsuit. But the Matrix lawsuit, look it up. The Matrix lawsuit, she won.
Oh, I'm going to check that out.
And got millions.
Well, that was the thing is I enjoyed the first Matrix. I was like, wow, that was great. Then I'm like, they're going to do another one. I'm like, I don't think there are any more questions. We see that he has now become super powered in this place and will, have vengeance. I think we're done here. And they're like, no. We're going to keep going back. And you're going, I'm always one for an explosion. Let's bring in Michael Bay and just blow it all up.
I remember when I was in high school and learning about the hero's journey and writing stuff. They're like, all right, good examples of this are Star Wars: A New Hope, The Matrix, and those are the easiest ones to figure out. So just go off of that.
Those
and it's
examples.
Yeah. And it was so easy. In terms of writing beats, that doesn't make it bad. Just
the Matrix. Well, that's part of what makes it so good is that it's a hero's journey. We love things that are familiar but different. It's at its core, it's something we're familiar with. But then they change everything about it. It's a hero's journey, but in a different setting, and that's what makes it fun. But I love the Matrix movies. I even liked 2 and 3 because they were just fun. But no, the 4th one, I was just I was laughing, but not even from happy. I was just this is so bad.
Yeah, that seems accurate. That's the thing is there are so many similarities between stories, right? Where it's true. You want to see it from your perspective or a different perspective, and you're going, okay, but some guy who didn't realize he was special turns out to be the most special, and you're like, hey, we all want that. We all, oh look, I'm actually a movie star. Who knows?
Oh, Harry Potter. That was the 3rd one.
Obviously, come on. That's just simple stuff.
I mean, our quote unquote topic today is things from the before times. We're okay leaving in the before times. Now that stuff is opening again. But first, Kayla, we got questions. First question we got, Dino, if you please. What is an embarrassing song from your playlist?
An embarrassing song for my playlist would probably be "If I Was Your Vampire" by Marilyn Manson. I listened to, that's probably the second most listened to song that I have. The most listened to song I have is "The Beginning Is the End Is the Beginning" by the Smashing Pumpkins, but that's not embarrassing because it's a good fucking song. And "If I Was Your Vampire," also a good song, but Marilyn Manson, piece of shit. And the reason I loved that song and listened to it over and over and over and over is because I was coming off of my like Twilight phase. I was like 15 and I was like growing out of Twilight, but not vampires as a whole. I like had just discovered Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, different kind of sexy vampire. So I was obsessed with this song.
So you were one of the people who was like super into Twilight, right? Like
so I actually, when Twilight was first written, I was working when I was like in middle school, like 5th grade through middle school, I worked as a test reader for the publishing company that did Twilight. And so I have like an early copy of it that's like still has typos and like deleted scenes and shit. So I read it before.
Whoa.
Damn. You liked Twilight before it was cool. That's
I sure did. I sent back notes. I had notes. I was like, some of these scenes are dumb. But they didn't seem to take a lot of my notes. I think if they had, we'd be living in a different world right now.
A world where South Park didn't make a whole episode out of it.
I'd have one more poster on my wall if we lived in that world.
The best part is I can't even tell which thing he's referring to. Like, is it Twilight? Is it 50 Shades of Grey?
It's all of it, dude.
Okay.
It's all of it. You should see
bunch
some
of
of the paraphernalia I hide in this room, bro.
The 50 Shades of Grey hype I did manage to dodge. I did dodge that one.
Well, because that happened like what? Like early 2010s that was a thing, or
I would have been like, I think it was in like college. Yeah
That's really cool though. You were a test reader for Twilight. See, that's the credit we should start with.
Yeah, that's a huge credit. She
read Twilight before it was cool.
There's probably like, I would guess that they had probably about like 100 kids like reading each book ahead of time. Like I got to read a few books, but that was the only one that I read that became like a phenomenon. Like I read some really good books, but that was the only one that like just like got crazy.
You went insane.
How do you even get a kid like that?
I need to sell that book online because I still have it. I need to like pop that bad boy on eBay.
Listen, right now he's playing Batman. You could say before times he was this guy. Crazy thing.
Do you think if I let Robert Pattinson know that I have this book that he would fall in love with me? Do you
Absolutely.
think?
Maybe, yeah.
That's not even a question.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the plot.
I'm gonna log off now. Thank you so much.
I want your Cedric Dickory. That.
I will be dropping my phone number in the chat though because I'm going to need that mutual connection.
Right. I can't. I'm looking. I'm going to wait for him to do it. No.
I'm waiting.
Just sit here for like 30 seconds of silence. Second question.
There you go.
Which is what is one thing you like to do because you're a grown up and no one's going to stop you? God damn it.
Yes.
I bought this like $4 plastic baggy type thing that's waterproof to up to like 30 feet. Like it's water and pressure proof. It's designed for people to take their phones scuba diving.
Okay.
But it's like the cheapest thing I've ever bought. And I use it to watch TikToks in the shower.
That's amazing.
That's fair. Yeah.
Holy shit. Wait, I want that. That sounds awesome.
No, it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. Like it's advertised as like, oh, it can do all this stuff, but really it just like it keeps my phone from being wet in the shower. I'll like play music or I'll like stand there and watch TikToks. The other one would probably be I come home on my lunch break from work and I play video games, and that's the thing that keeps me sane.
Okay. So now what I'm wondering is if someone has that underwater, because it's, presumably filled with air, if you like let go of your phone, does it go up or?
I think it would sink. I think it would sink because it's still, because it's not like filled with that much air. It's got a little bit of air in it. Okay. But like, I think the phone would be heavy enough that it would sink.
Got it.
I think you'd need a separate like floater thing to attach to it.
That's so funny that people are literally like the one point of going scuba diving is like to go see the ocean and be away from people. Like, I'm gonna fucking scroll through Instagram in the Marianas Trench.
I thought the whole point of scuba diving was to flex on people later with the fact that you went scuba diving.
That's true. It's like going to a concert or
there
college.
You go. It's about what you're gonna post to your story later.
Or getting a sunburn, be like, oh, I got burnt. I was at the beach. for like 8 days. It was a private cabana. Whatever.
I was scuba diving. I pet a shark. Did you know you could pet a shark? No, the fuck you didn't. Or whatever.
You know how good I am at staying alive in situations where you're not supposed to be alive? That's me. I went scuba diving.
That's fair.
Oh my god. My girlfriend showed me this movie where it's like two people that go on like a scuba diving trip. Like they go on a boat and the boat forgets about them and they're like just stuck out there.
Deep
That's
water?
the whole movie.
That's a
Might
real
be deep
story.
water.
Open water?
Open water.
I think so, yeah.
Open water's like the real story where you're going, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, maybe we'll die. That's what you're going to do.
Stories
And
like
then-
that are so scary. Like ones where people get abandoned in the middle of the ocean or in the middle of like space and such.
Yeah.
Ugh. Just be surrounded by vastness. Ugh.
It's the silence.
One thing that bothered me about Gravity was the thing where they like unhook George Clooney from the thing and then he gets like falls away. You're in space. There's no gravity. He would just kind of unhook and then just be awkwardly floating there off his own momentum. He's like, I'm just gonna wait here until my oxygen runs out. I feel like that's less dramatic than if they had him like get pulled away.
It's a plot device.
Yeah.
He had momentum, so he could come back.
It's called a hero's journey, Atlas. Jesus Christ.
George Clooney was actually a metaphor. He was a metaphor for the fact that Sandra Bullock had been an inpatient at the mental hospital the whole time. Actually.
Right.
Intellectual.
That's like every film theory, game theory video ever. That turns out they were insane. Like,
I love just like completely unhinged theories about like the most wholesome. Like I love reading deranged Bob's Burgers fan theories.
yeah,
Where they're like, here's all the evidence that Bob's family is actually dead.
yeah. It's like, oh my god.
You know what? The worst part is when those are really done well, where you're going,
Fuck.
shit, am I crazy? You're like, oh no.
Mhm.
I'm like, have I lost it? I don't.
Or like the whole Ed and Eddie, the cul-de-sac is purgatory theory.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one. Caleb, Ed and Eddie was a TV show on Cartoon Network in the 90s.
Cool. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch Cartoon Network, so I'm in the dark
What?
here, bro. Yeah, it's seriously, dude. My mom was like super stringent on that. I could watch
Cartoon
like
Network.
PBS. I could
Okay.
watch like half of Nickelodeon.
Half
that
of
was it.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I couldn't watch
Interesting.
SpongeBob or like anything like that. I could only watch like a couple things. Like I was allowed to watch like the live action sitcoms, but
There was a whole thing that was like a minute of SpongeBob like decreases your creative ability in children, like if they have it as a regular dosage, like it messes with. Yeah, there's a whole thing behind it. And I'm like, I was
I know
told for
what
that. So I
happened
was like,
to me.
yeah.
I
I
want
know
to
what
fight
happened.
whoever put that out. They're a liar. SpongeBob was wonderful.
Well, SpongeBob is wonderful, but
It is.
Sorry,
My mom was like the opposite of Caleb's though, because like, she was the same, but like on the other spectrum. Because I was like allowed to watch SpongeBob, but I couldn't watch things like Animaniacs. But at the same time that I wasn't allowed to watch like Simpsons and Animaniacs, I was allowed to watch like The Matrix and Gladiator. So we had.
if it's got
They're
hot
preparing you for something very specific.
it turns out you were entertained. And,
The
no,
Matrix, we were talking about The Matrix earlier. That was the first R-rated movie I ever saw.
okay. That's a good first R-rated movie.
Mm-hmm. And my mom paused it halfway through because I was like, Cypher's a bitch. And she was paused it. And she was like, if you're going to use language, we're not going to get to watch.
Why was that rated R?
I assume because it was, well, I mean, ratings are so kind of, they're very subjective. But I'm assuming it was largely because of like the disturbing nature of some of it. But I think it's probably like the like thing coming out of they're going into his stomach and like the mouth and stuff. I can see why maybe they were like, this is really disturbing because it freaked me the fuck out.
It's like the
Well, do you see his wiener when he comes out of the pond?
No, I wish.
Have you guys seen that
I'm trying
movie?
to see that Keanu Peen, man.
Keanu Pinu.
All right.
Keanu P. I'm writing that down.
That's the title for the episode. That has to be.
I've heard that from someone before, and I was like,
Keanu
oh.
Pinu. That's the most fire phrase I've ever heard in my entire life.
It was one of the. I'm glad it turned out the way it did because when I started to say it, I thought it was going to rhyme more than it did.
Oh,
It
yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't, but it does. It's weird. It's,
Keanu Pinu.
Do y'all think if I tweet that at Keanu Reeves, he'll fall in love with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. But the only
he's a
problem
real
is-
person and everything, so there's a good chance that I think everyone has a shot. I think
It's
you
true.
know.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he's
start
like a
a
real person.
commune in the woods, just living with a bunch of male celebrities that I fell in love with in middle school.
There you
That
go.
sounds
God, I
awesome.
keep hitting my
See,
keyboard.
I just keep tweeting Homestar Runner memes at Strongbad and hoping he'll respond back to me. Like today, it was taking classic movies and photoshopping like scenes from Homestar as the poster, and then that one. So like I did Office Space, and it's just like a thing where they're all in a cubicle together and stuff like that.
I watched Office Space for the very first time recently. It's so funny. It's still
It's a good movie. Yeah,
Very funny.
Especially now with the whole resignation thing. I'm like, fuck, you just want to do that so hard. Just go full.
Somebody up here. So I'm in Toronto, Kayla. Somebody just posted a job today. That's a professor. Like you need to have a
UCLA.
Yeah, in UCLA, and it's
LA.
for zero pay.
Yeah.
Zero pay.
They're like adjunct professor for zero pay. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, which you're like, what?
But we'll pass a tip bucket around, and if you bring 5 students,
only once.
We'll pass a bucket hat around.
It's a canned food drive. That's how.
If you bring 5, it's a fucking bringer show. Goddamn.
Bring 5 students, you can lecture.
Yeah,
That's so good, dude.
I saw that. I was like, we got a ways to go. Things are still crazy. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna stay home a little longer. I've already had a few people who are like, oh yeah, things are going crazy.
Yeah, I work at an Olive Garden, and like people are quitting like crazy. And I just love going on just communist rants out there. Listen, at my managers, at the other coworkers, like every time it's mildest inconvenience, I'm like, a union.
Yeah, union's pretty based.
But once they're like, yeah, we need a union, I'm like, yeah, we also need to topple some bullshit.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like 30 years late. Like we should have done that a long time ago.
At my job, they used to have, like, I do medical records for a doctor. They used to have me with the clinical trials people just to like save space. And then I tried to unionize them, and then they moved me to a different office. They they physically moved me. Like, we can't have this shit, because I made 4 people quit after the union thing failed.
Nice.
Which was like half of that department. It was really funny.
I like to imagine, because you said they physically moved you, I like to imagine there's like a giant security guard in like Stars and Stripes just picked you up.
I was imagining like The Sims, where you pick them up and then
just drag and drop you into a pool with no water.
Yeah. The floor is lava. Good luck. That's fair.
Roller coaster tycoon. Don't put bathrooms in. See what happens. All right. Our third question. What was the first time you felt like an adult?
First time I felt like an adult, it was kind of a toss-up. There were 2 like big moments for me. The first was when I was the beneficiary on my boyfriend, maybe the beneficiary on his life insurance after we'd been living together a few years.
Okay.
After he disappeared.
Yeah, and and I know about his deadly shellfish allergy, so bold move.
Nice.
But that was very good. And then also, I guess the first time I fully filed my taxes, because I kept like for years on end, I would just like start to file my taxes, and it would just end with me like on the floor crying, completely unable to figure it out, and like knowing
reasonable response,
enough money for them to care. Like,
so
I just didn't file my taxes for years because like I didn't make enough money, so I didn't have to.
Yeah.
But then I finally filed my taxes when I was like 28. But it was the first time I'd actually because I've never in my whole life, like, except for like 1 year maybe, made enough to actually have to pay taxes. I've just lived so far below the poverty line forever. So it was when the pandemic hit and I wanted unemployment, I was like, I guess I'll do my taxes.
Yeah.
For any interested parties listening, I'm representing Miss Kayla Esmond here. That everything said on this podcast is merely satire and also not to be taken seriously, as there is no admission of a crime being committed here on this show today. Nothing here is admissible in court, and you need to go through me before you file charges, just so you know.
I would love it if they came and audited me, because it would just end up that they owed me money.
For sure.
Because every year that like I didn't do it, I would have gotten a tax return of like a small tax return, but I was just like, I'm gonna leave that on I would rather leave $200 on the table than have to do paperwork.
Yeah, you can never be indebted to the tax man. You have to always have. Oh no! I get it. It's like a tip, and they're like, no, we don't take that. Oh well, I'll get it back eventually.
Right.
No problem. We're good.
They'll send me to jail, like.
Oh, with a smile too.
Than before. I'll go back. Fuck it. I don't care.
That's fair.
I got friends there.
I had fun. I did my first 45 minutes in a jail cell. Holding cell, I should say. I hadn't made it to GP yet. We never did. It was too full.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd rather you put me in jail so I don't have to listen to your bitchin' mouth and I can hang out with my friends.
Caleb, that's probably the most teenage thing I've heard you say. You're the young person on this.
I mean,
literally, I'm just waiting for "you're not my real dad." Like that's the only way you can talk.
Oh, you think that hasn't left my mouth before, Atlas Novak?
Yes, I do. I know what your dad's like. That's yeah.
Wow.
It's weird. You have like lawful neutral, true neutral, and chaotic neutral for dads.
Basically. I do. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know what you said when you were pointing at me. I don't like this.
No. Your dad is lawful neutral. Mine's true neutral. His is chaotic neutral. Yeah.
Whatever.
So, things from the before times we don't want back now that things are opening again. Which I know we've said that phrase like 80 gajillion times. As we start to open again, up the numbers went up. Put them back on. Go back inside.
Yeah.
It's like that tweet where it's like the masks go on and the cases go down, so the masks go off and the cases go up, so the masks go on and the cases go down.
Well, yeah.
Until they ran out of characters.
That's the best part about this is you realize, so no politician cares about anyone. Like just blanket statement, they all could care less. And you're like, okay, that's good to know. Here, I'm going to leave that little tax return on the table. You guys have fun with that. I'm just going to hang out in my own house and try not to die. It was cool. It's cool.
They're arguing about like, I don't know if we should build back better. Getting rid of daylight savings time? Fuck yeah. Let's 100% that all the way through.
Which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. Where they're like, well, people can be inconvenienced. You're going, the reason we have daylight savings time is a real thing. The calendar is off. There's a purpose for a whole... Oh, it's very disturbing.
It will lower the number of car accidents the day after daylight savings, though.
That's true.
There's a huge uptick in car accidents the day after.
I wish they would, instead of having always daylight savings time, have always standard time. Because the thing where people are like, I don't want to go home when it's dark out. It makes me sad. Look, I hate waking up in the dark more than I hate coming home in the dark. I would just prefer you do that. Also for like kids getting up for school, feel like it's better for them. Children are our future. And yada yada. Be a little sad for a couple months out of the year.
And fuck them kids.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a number one.
Kayla, if you ever have kids in the future, I'm saving this clip and sending it to you.
Every year on their birthday. Fuck them kids. Just so you know. No, okay, listen.
It's all right. My cats don't know English.
It's fair.
They do. They just pretend not to understand you.
Only when you're around. That's
one of my cats, my floofiest cat, has figured out that if he goes, Mama, I will be like, Ah! And he gets all the attention.
He can meow like that?
Look at the devil. Come here.
This is the floofiest cat?
This is the floofiest cat.
Oh my God,
he's so cute. People who are just listening to this should listen out.
This is Charlie Dayman.
Charlie Damien.
Dayman. Oh.
Yeah.
He's even got floofy paws.
Is the other one called Nightman or?
No, I don't have a Nightman. I've got Charlie Dayman, Clementine, Hopper, and Merlin.
Oh, no troll even.
No trolls. I would name a cat Danny DeVito.
Yeah, who wouldn't? Yeah. Robert Evans named his cat.
If I were to ever get one of those little munchkin cats with the little short feet.
Yeah. Oh. It's like the dachshund of cats.
I'm gonna name my firstborn son Trash Man. I'm the Trash Man.
Trash Man McDuff, though, I think is the real That's the winner.
It's not. It's just trash man. That's all it is, dude.
Wait, is man the middle name? So
No,
when you're
man is
yelling
the
at-
surname.
Yeah, it's Trashman.
Trashman.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Polish.
Yeah.
Super high class.
Yeah.
Something that Atlas wouldn't understand, and that's okay.
I like how I've become the new Nick after he's. I'm the punching bag now. How did that happen? It's just Caleb can fight back and Nick goes.
You spoke up against LeBron James, and that's just how things are going to be.
I feel like that's our place as millennials, is we've just become kind of the punching. Like Gen Z was supposed to be like shitty towards Gen X the way we were boomers, and they were like, nah, fuck you and your middle parts. It's like, what? Gen X.
And the worst part is like
Harry Potter. Ooh, ooh.
and then like the millennials were
Fuck
like
us for believing in magic when we were 12 years old. Ooh.
We had Twitter when we were 12. We know the real world world.
and we were like we're still like supportive of okay, we love you Zoomers, have fun on TikTok. And then they're just like, yeah, fuck you. And you're like,
nah, I've reported every single Zoomer I know to the IRS.
Caleb, you might want to keep all your files in case you get
No, it's too late.
Bro,
It's too late.
bro, you think I don't have a tax man for the OnlyFans? I'm good. Dude. I'm good. But yo, speaking of things that I don't want to keep around, like from pre-pandemic, dude, I got two. First one, Cece's Pizza. Get the fuck out of here, Cece's Pizza.
The hell's Cece's Pizza?
Bro, you don't know what Cece's Pizza is? You're not missing out. But dude, it is so fucking.
It's an experience, not a good one.
Been? It's like if Golden Corral was run by like.
Okay, I know
year-olds
exactly
that have
what
also
Golden
been to
Corral
jail.
is. Okay, got it. Perfect.
Dude, it's so like it's just cold. It's like mall pizza, but like they like to throw like mac and cheese and like all kinds of other gross shit on there, and then they just like reheat it and they give it to you, and you have to sit in this like dingy, like sweat crusted booth with like kids running around everywhere, and they're all dirty all the time. Every single one I've been to, it never fails. The floor is covered in grease. It's like I fucking started like wrestling with like Dino and Atlas on the middle of the floor, and they didn't clean up afterward. Now I got to eat pizza. Cece's Pizza.
I think that's a good Saturday night, in my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah.
Frankie,
Also,
this
Caleb, I
pizza
can't wait to
classism.
meet you in person.
Because we're gonna wrestle.
Yeah, we're gonna wrestle.
Kayla, what did you say? Sorry.
This pizza classism is disgusting. It's as disgusting as Cece's Pizza, frankly.
Okay, okay, of all of the like, okay, not counting like your local pizza place, of all of the chain delivery pizza places, what is your favorite?
Oh,
Papa John's.
Okay.
I've never had Papa John's. Papa John's just came here, and I want to try it, but
They
at
have
the
a
same time-
stuffed crust pizza that I am just disgusting enough to like get down on.
Yeah,
You
stuffed
can't
crust
really
though
tell
is
over like this. I'm fat, and I got there on purpose. They're
It
Not
just
there
makes
on
you a
purpose.
real person, and I respect you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm a bit as big as a house. Don't worry about it. Yeah, trust me, it's fine. That's if
Does it have to
anything-
be like a big like national chain, or can it be like a smaller chain that still delivers?
As long as there are stores outside of your town, right?
Okay, Jets Pizza.
Never had Jets Pizza.
Jets. It's from
Okay.
Detroit. So good, dude. I used to work there.
Is there a Sharks Pizza and do they rumble?
Yes.
That's a horrible joke, and you know it. You know that's a horrible joke.
I just watched the West Side Story.
That's not a credit to you, sir.
I liked it, Atlas. Atlas,
I liked it
your
too.
joke.
It was good.
I didn't watch West Side Story, but I liked your joke, and it made my musical theater degree almost worth it.
Okay, good.
I've never seen West Side Story, and I didn't get the joke, but I'm just smiling and nodding.
Have
it's
you
the
heard
two-
of Romeo and Juliet?
I have.
Make it more racist. Boom. There you go. West Side
And,
Story.
and a lot of this.
Possible? Wow.
Yes, it is. You'd be surprised. Yeah,
Um,
it's horrible. Don't worry about it.
The Spielberg one is pretty good.
If you're like into musicals, it's fun, but like I'm at this point where like I spent so much of my life doing musicals, I'm like kind of exhausted on them.
That makes sense.
I feel like that would happen
Mine
quite
is
quickly.
Dominus.
No,
That's my favorite.
I mean, I was a professional musical theater actor for 10 years.
Oh, snap.
And like
that's a lot to deal
musical
with,
theater
though.
people, like
Yeah,
musical theater people don't stop. And like I'm annoying, but like I'm not the classically musical theater like level of annoying because like you would be doing a show and then people would come into the dressing room and like you're 6 weeks into this run, you're doing 8 shows a week, 6 weeks into this run, and they're still coming in and they're like, let's play the song that we just did on stage, and you're like, no, I want to listen to something angry. Please stop playing here, right?
Oh my god! Yeah,
that's why I like you right there. That's just
the theater kids. Like the theater kids in high school are a different breed. They're like horse girl level crazy, but about something else.
Oh my god! No, I got my musical theater degree at a private Baptist university. Crazy, like,
that's a special kind of crazy. That's crazy on top of crazy. Mm-hmm. That's a crazy stuffed crust pizza.
That's crazy for Jesus, baby, right there. Yeah.
The accent was just inflammatory. That was just you were just like
actually like it's my I have a natural Southern accent that like it's not coming out so much right now, but it does like it'll sneak out there and like it'll be really obvious. I'm like the other day at the restaurant, I asked someone if they wanted another curse. I was like, "You want another curse?"
Okay. It's sneaking out there. Where are you from originally?
Oh, Coors.
Yeah.
I can't say it. It's one of the few words that like genuinely straight up I can't say not super Southern. I grew up in Texas and then I lived in Arkansas for 8 years.
Okay.
But like if I'm not like if I just kind of like go into my natural accent, it sits a little more right here. But like if I've talked to my family or I'm angry, it gets really thick. Like when I'm bitching at my managers, like they know when I'm really angry because I'm like, you need to move that fucking computer, I swear to God, right fucking now. They're like, fuck, don't bring out the twang.
Well, you sound like someone that's punched someone in the face and won, and it's like it's a respectable thing, I think.
Well, and you know when customers get rude with me too, that's another time that it'll come out. And like I'm really impressed sometimes when people get like truly rude with me. It's very rare. Like people don't get rude with me often, but very occasionally when people do get rude with me, and my Southern is already out, I'm like. And they keep going. I'm like, I just like hats off to their balls. Cause like I'm a 30-year-old bartender at Olive Garden. Obviously my life isn't going well. Like, what do I have to lose by beating your ass? You think I can't go find another shitty? I'll go down to Chili's and start bartending there. I don't give a shit.
Dare I say you're someone who carries around a screwdriver because you know the law will put you in jail if you have a knife. That's a fact.
One of my favorite things I've ever gotten to watch. So one of my arrests, like I had a couple of.
One of your arrests.
Hold on.
Not time I got arrested. One of your arrests.
Yeah.
They stacked a bunch of charges against me, and one of them was they charged me for having a long serrated knife in the back of my car, and they were like illegal possession of a deadly weapon. And my lawyer was going to get most of it dismissed, but he was like, just for fun, I'm going to leave this one because I want to go argue it. And I was like, yeah, bro, go live your truth. And it was it was inspiring because he got up there in this Arkansas court. This is a rural Arkansas court. He's just like, are we really, as Arkansans, are we really going to tell this young woman that she does not have the most basic right to defend herself? Is that where we are? Is we as Arkansans cannot let our most vulnerable youngest women defend themselves with a knife? I was just like,
I like how
Mr. Collins.
I like how he gets his rocks off by playing, playing tetherball with your freedom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit it like this, and then it's gonna come back around. I'm gonna hit it again, and I win. And
well, luckily, I know how to pick lawyers. So, the second best lawyer you can get is the best lawyer. The best lawyer you can get is friends with the judge. So I was feeling pretty okay.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, Caleb. You were going to say something, and I have a bad problem with interrupting.
That's okay. I was just going to say, as someone who has spent a lot of time in law classrooms, that's the kind of personalities that you get in the law world, dude. Fucking people just like playing Pong with people's freedom, man. It's a game.
I feel like there's a Venn diagram for comedy on that. Like they just kind of cross over with people going, "Hey, I'm going to chance this on your show. See ya."
So those are like that kind of lawyer though, but like who would the selfless public defenders of the comedy world be? Like, the people who like dedicate their lives to defending poor people, like, and don't make money in the system, those lawyers, who is their equivalent in the comedy world? Is that like open mic hosts?
No. Okay.
Yeah, but that is like, I've had this open mic for 7 years. It's great.
Okay.
Try and tell your friends we're still here, and you're like, yeah, guy, listen, the dream's dead.
One person I can definitely point to, at least in the LA scene, is Bobby Oliver, because she has her own comedy club that is made like, this is a feminist space. If you tell rape jokes, I'm kicking your ass out. She teaches classes to help comedians do better. She holds a feminist comedy festival every year. Like, that's the closest you can get, I think. In terms of just like the open mic host, depends.
You know what? What bothers me the most is just that, like, finding out stories now where you're like, oh, I didn't like that guy because he's a predator. Good to know. Good to know that, the radar still works.
Okay, I like how that's your reaction when you find out something like that, because you're like, oh, that's interesting.
The law says I can't go beat the crap out of people anymore, Atlas, okay? That's your law, okay? You young people are like, no, don't hit people. It's assault. And I'm like, listen, he touched somebody, I'm going to rip his arms off. Just a little click. And then I'm going to go.
You're in Toronto? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Well, that's your problem. You're in Canada. Come on down to Texas. We'll let you beat anyone's ass for any old reason.
See, I feel like I lost my opportunity because now I'm old and gray-haired and stuff like that, right? And I don't even have as much hair as I used to have. But when in my youth, because I'm like, I know I look kind of like a gorilla /
ogre
pile of dirt, and that's okay. But realistically, I'm worse on the inside, so it's fine. But that's why comedy draws me in. But that's why
Dino's gonna run out of self-disparaging descriptions for himself.
Nah, it's impossible. Trust me. That's the thing is, like, even here we've had. I think I told the story to these two once. Was that one comedian kind of he made a choice, and you're like, that was the wrong choice because a guy rushed the stage, and ultimately he was fine. The comedian shit his pants a little bit and left. But I'm like, the guy still was kind of uppity, and I kind of just put my hand around him, and then I just, palmed his entire chest. And I'm like, hey, buddy. And he just kind of looked down and go, oh, what the hell is that? And I'm like, listen, I'll eat you. Let's maybe calm down. Have a beer. It's cool, I
mean, I'd be pretty scared if freaking the guy that looks like Karl Marx that kept skipping the bread line was, like, threatening me, dude.
Respect. That was good. I like that.
Comrade, I make sure that everybody else get bread.
I am bread tester. I'll go first. For you, the people. Yeah, that's right.
Jesus Christ. I can definitely say that, like, at least as a comic, I don't do open mics as much as I used to in the before times. Not that I don't do them at all anymore, because obviously you got to practice and stuff. But like in the before times, I was like, gotta go 7 nights a week. You gotta keep grinding. And like honestly, I don't really go unless there's something I want to do. I don't, or like I need to practice a bit anymore. Yeah. I don't. I live my life.
You got to trust the room, right? So if you like, I remember there were a few places that I would go. Like some nights I would go like two different places in a night. And then I was like, yeah, no, that's because I would have 2 different sets to try in 2 different places, different set lineups, everything different, but in the end, you're like, yeah, no, that was just exhausting me. I wasn't getting the benefit. I wasn't getting that return on that invested time, right? So it's different.
I'm a lot more purposeful now.
Yeah.
Like, I spend more time writing than I do running it because, like, to an extent, there's some stuff that, like, I'll write it and I'm like, I really need to work this out on stage. This is something I'm going to have to kind of riff with. But there's some stuff you write and you're like, boom, that's a joke. And, like, sometimes, like, there's some stuff that, like, they're jokes and, like, structurally they're good and stuff. But, like, you take them to an open mic and, like, the comics aren't going to laugh, but, like, an audience would. So it's like.
That's my biggest self-delusion is like bombing at a mic, and I'm like, you know what? These comics are just there for themselves. I'm a people's comic. I do well in front of normal people.
Well, because you see the opposite too. Like you see those comics that they do really well at the open mics, but then they can't, like, they drown with every audience they get in front of because they have no idea how to talk to people. Or the comics who, like, they've got great, like, LA specific material, but then they go and they perform like 20 miles outside of LA and like nobody knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely like a thing I have to remind myself not to do is like you grew up in LA, you live in LA. Don't do like
you grew up in
traffic, huh? Like you can't.
You look like you grew up in Boise.
He does.
And he lives in Colorado. He would kind of. What exactly is Boise-ish about me?
You look like a potato.
Yeah. Yeah.
If anything, Atlas grew up at the foot of a volcano, and this is what he looked like. That was...
Fun fact: my eye is dilated in that picture, and that's like partially photoshopped on.
Yeah, right there.
Go look at it. One pupil is dilated.
One pupil is freaking huge.
Gave him an extra sinister look. I found.
Yeah. Well, because I at work they were training a new tech, and they're like, "We're going to teach you to dilate someone." Atlas, you're not doing anything besides working at a computer all day. You want to get dilated? I'm like, all right. If it means I don't have to work because I can't look at a computer anymore, fuck it. Dilate one of my eyes. And then took that picture. So
I definitely feel like the first time you're like, oh, they're going to dilate me at work. And I was like, I need more of an explanation. I'm like, I'm not. I work with money. That's what I did. I'm like, I was a financial planner. I need more information. It's a weird statement.
It's like when people do too much heroin and their pupils are blown out. Like that.
You've never done heroin.
What, and you have?
I've done things, sir. Things that will make your pupils do that. Okay.
I've seen Requiem for a Dream, so I've basically done heroin.
Yeah.
That's a Zoomer thing to say, you little bastard. I saw the movie. It's exactly the same. Okay. It's like I've read the encyclopedia. You're like,
the movie's way better than like the actual book. Don't even bother.
Yeah, the movie's way better than the heroin.
Yeah, the movie's way better.
They released a line of heroin along with it. It is.
I didn't get to share a double-sided dildo with anybody after.
I've had dreams. So. The Requiem for them was much better.
I've never done heroin, but I've never mind. I'll not admit to more crimes.
There you go. That's the ticket.
I had a dream a couple nights ago where, you know how in lucid dreams you can control everything, and there's a point in the dream where you go, "This is a lucid dream. I'm gonna start doing stuff now." I almost had a lucid dream where I realized I was in a dream, and I would tell somebody in the dream, "I'm in a dream. I should be able to do stuff." And they went, "Yeah, so," and then just continued on with the dream. So, my own subconscious was like, "This is a lucid dream, but you can't do anything. Fuck you."
I feel like that would happen to you. That's definitely, yeah.
Why is that like the perfect synopsis of my conscious brain too? That's crazy. Wait, I have the whole world before me. I can do anything I want.
No, you cannot. No. The worst part isn't people saying no to me. It's that they were okay, and fuck you. I'm doing this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you weird boys. This is the thing, though, is that in real life, you can just make this is the point of this subject, I find, is that you really figure out what actually drives your passion and your happiness and all that kind of stuff. There's so much stuff that we used to do. I know for my wife and I, one of the biggest things was we would go to the movies constantly. Our entire our wedding was all movie based. Each table had a different terrarium that
cool.
She made. It was very cool, and I was like, "That's a waste of fucking time." She was like, "But I want to do it." I'm like, "You have at it, honey." But that was we even had it was in our old Art Deco theater, so we had movies playing the whole time and stuff. It was cool. But now I'm like, I saw Outbreak. I'm not going to a movie theater anytime soon. Just from the goes through the air, everybody gets sick. I'm like, no, I'm not getting trapped in that shit. It's not going to happen, right?
I did go see the Batman in the theater. It was the first movie I'd seen in the theater in a while.
Was it good? Was it
actually
good?
It so much.
You also were a Twilight fan, so I'm not sure if I trust you.
But I am more than anything, more than as a Twilight fan, I think really this movie tapped into my bisexuality is what it was. Because it wasn't just Robert Pattinson for me to drool over.
It was Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz is...
She's amazing. She's amazing as Catwoman. She's wonderful. It's a wonderful movie. It's so good.
Her parents are angels of sex life. You look at them and you're like, oh, you can't. That's the pinnacle of human.
Doesn't Lenny Kravitz still have a six-pack? Still?
He has, almost 8, and I, listen, I can't say anything bad about that bastard.
I know he's the most beautiful 104-year-old man I've ever seen in my life. He's crushing it.
Caleb, what were you going to say? We kept.
I can definitely relate to the tones that you took away from Batman, though, because I would gladly eat a spoon of cereal out of Robert Pattinson's belly button. Wouldn't even be a question. Just, I'm there.
Oh God, it's just so good.
I wouldn't even use a spoon. No spoon.
What kind of cereal?
Any Cheerios, probably easier to
cool.
just.
Because he's British, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because he's British, exactly. Oh, cheers, love. Oh, I got some gas on me button.
Oh,
yeah?
please no, please.
Got some gas on me belly button. You want to sock it right out, yeah?
Make them Cheerios go Cheerio.
Make them Cheerios go jolly right up your whizzer, mate.
How is that worse than your Irish one? That was worse than the Irish one. And Kayla, don't laugh at them. Those were horrible. Those were horrible. Okay, we all know it.
I thought they were pretty good.
Oh, you're one of them. No,
I thought they were pretty
absolutely
good.
not.
Welcome back to the St. Patrick's Day celebration here on Generation 9.
How are you going to be hateful about his Irish accent when his last name's McDuff? It's his birthright to be able to do this shit to you.
He was hatched like in Jurassic
blood.
Park. Okay, he was not. He does no rights.
Okay, John D. Ruddy still listens to this show. He's not going to want to come back if we keep doing this.
I'm going to take him on another show by myself, okay, without mocking his accent, sir.
I
God.
run through tall grass and let it tickle my nuts at a cultural heritage. Okay.
Oh my God. So many good potential episode titles out of the last 40 minutes or so. So good. Before we started,
Keanu Peen, I think, is still
Keanu Peen is still the top right
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Before we started, Kayla mentioned like one thing you want to keep is masks on airplanes, right?
Yeah, I don't mind the masks on airplanes. It makes me feel better. I always felt weird about like breathing in the same air, and I do a lot of flying, or like I did before the pandemic. I was doing a lot of flying right before the pandemic, and I've only done a little bit since. But the masks have definitely made me feel a lot better because I like flying and I like airports in a really weird way. Like
it is kind of fun, like to get there and just kind of chill before the flight and stuff.
Sure, I love wandering around. I love large group settings where you can see just like the inherent natural choreography that people fall into, and I think that's really interesting and really beautiful. I love to put like my headphones in and just like play Alt J is my favorite one to go to, and just like watch the movements of how people just naturally like move through the airport, because I think it's really interesting how we're very cohesive in the way we move without having to like do a lot of like mental planning. We're just inherently fall into these patterns. It's really cool.
So basically, you saw Baby Driver and you were like, I want that, but in real life.
Baby Driver on board.
I rewatched that movie the other night. It's
Never seen it.
So good. Watch it. It's amazing.
It's been on my list for a while, but like it also, I think like I was gonna go see it the week or something that the Kevin Spacey stuff came out. And I was like, I was kind of like, oh no, I don't want to.
Yeah, that was his last like thing before.
Yeah, I was gonna, but now I'm like, I feel like I can do it now because like Kevin Spacey was one of those that was so disappointing. Like, it's like, come on, man. Like, we thought you were a great actor. We didn't know you were actually just a real life creep.
Yeah. I mean, the funny part was like there was a gag on Family Guy like 10 years before that, where it's like they're in a mall and Stewie's like, I'll do it for $10, and then Brian's like $5, $8, and I'll do it, fine. And then he runs naked through the mall, going, "Help! I escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement," and like it's completely random. And then like 10 years later, that comes out.
Except it wasn't random at all, right? That's the this is the problem. Is you're like, 10 years ago, someone made this as a joke, and everyone got the joke.
Yeah,
Ugh, that's weird. That's
I really hope that after this, people are now more like in Japan, for example, that like if someone is sick, they will put a mask on, and I think that's going to be like we didn't have a flu season that first year of lockdown because of all that, and I think hopefully I'm going to be that old person who's going to be walking around with a mask. Why does Grandpa walk around with a mask? When I was your age, it was a horrible. It's basically like the grandparents who grew up in the Depression being really stingy with money. I'm gonna be like that with masks. I'm gonna be like fucking, phone, wallet, keys, mask in my pocket.
I love like masks when you're sick. Like I would love to see that become more of a societal norm because that was always my mom was she's a nurse she is a nurse practitioner. She was part of like the Texas preparedness planning board, disaster planning board or something. So she's always kind of had this like awareness of I've always had this awareness of the potential of a pandemic. I like grew up with it.
Yeah.
So whenever I was sick, I grew up like I would wear a mask. And like there are pictures of me before the pandemic at like I had the flu, but I was directing a show at the time when we opened like the next week and like all my crew got the flu. So I couldn't take the week off. I was like with the flu building my set, doing all the lights and stuff. And like you just see me the whole week. I'm masked up because I'm like, I can't give anybody else the flu, but I also need this shit to happen. So there are pictures of me like well before the pandemic with masks on and stuff.
Yeah. But that's like, so my wife is Asian, and in the Asian community, that's a normal thing where you're like, oh, if you're sick, you should cover up.
Yeah.
Like, and that people will have masks over their face and stuff like that. And you're just going, yeah, you know what? It's just being a responsible, not asshole. That's, but that's, I personally want to bring back punches in the face because I feel like that is definitely something that we deserve.
I don't know. I gotta say, it's a tradition to punch Nazis, and I think that should always be a tradition.
Yeah, but when was that not a tradition? Okay, if anything, we've gotten backwards. We're like, well, maybe they're the good Nazis. No, the Nazis. You punch them. That's what you do. You started with Captain America killing Hitler like 1,000 times. And then went from there.
You gotta love those sentiments where they're like, but if you punch them, aren't you the same as them? And it's like, no, great question. What next?
I got really high the other day and I thought about this. If you kill this, no, listen, you have a vape pen. Caleb's got a vape pen. I just quit smoking. I will kill you both. Okay.
Oh no, the only reason I'm hitting this is because I chain smoked for 10 years. And then I switched over to a vape, and now I'm more addicted to nicotine than I've ever been in my life. But also, I smoke all the time. Carry on, please.
Yeah. I quit smoking. So I 16 years, and last Christmas Eve I stopped, and I'm like, no, it's the worst. I hate it. I wish I never quit, and if anything, took up more smoking. Anyway,
it's made for amazing podcasting though, because he's so angry all the time.
All the time,
it's the best.
I am ready to murder.
Oh man,
ready to murder.
I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was like, you know what we're really missing in the podosphere, and that's angry Gen X white men. That's
yeah, there's just not enough of those.
There's like niche that I feel like you can fill there.
I'll tell you one thing, Kayla. I'm not your regular honky. I'm a Greek man, okay? And that means I'm much better and have cuisine and rhythm. I surpass most cultures in the world, not only in seniority, but what we've given to the world. So shame on you for thinking I'm just some random honky in Canada who come here to be angry. No, madam. I gave the world democracy and perfected anal sex. The hell with everyone else. No.
Still can't jump though, fucking dork.
Wait, did you say the original honky?
Yeah, the Greeks were like the original. They're like they create.
They were like mud wrestling
that
with
became
each other.
honkyism. You know what I mean?
But also you have like
that was the English.
Well, no, but
from barbarians. From barbarians, we made marble into faces.
The Greeks are some of the few. It's one of the few like. White cultures, like I mean, I guess like whatever, but one of the few like white people cultures that has good food.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay said it was the best. It was better than Italian, and I literally, as soon as I saw that, I sent it to all of my Italian friends, and I'm like, "Suck it!"
You're telling me you don't like boiled sheep stomach?
That's hotness, Caleb. That's not you.
Love a good flaky prawn pie.
Yeah.
You don't like beans and toast at 8 a.m?
So my wife was born in London. Okay, she was born in London, and so we still go back, and she's like, "Oh, beans on toast," and I'm like, "You are a trash human being. It's disgusting." She's like, "Oh, I want kidney pie," and I'm like, "Gross."
British eat what like if you turned a raccoon into a person, that's what the British eat.
Yeah,
like, not a raccoon person. If you
turned
a raccoon into a person, and that raccoon person was then a chef. The food.
Okay, see now that I'm imagining that as like a weird like on Nick Jr. or something, but it's just like Gordon Ramsay doing the voice. I'd watch it.
I follow Gordon Ramsay on TikTok, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
What?
He's having a real renaissance, Gordon Ramsay.
Oh yeah. Oh, have you seen Next Level
Renaissance.
Chef? Yeah.
No.
Next Level Chef. So Katie got me into it. They're split up into 3 teams, and every week they're randomized on either a bottom floor, middle floor, or top floor. Bottom floor has the worst equipment and gets to pick their ingredients last. Top floor gets the best equipment, gets to pick first. So it's like
communism or some sort of crazy.
If you've ever seen that movie, The Platform.
Actually, I was just about to say this sounds like the movie The Platform.
Yeah. But it's kind of like that, and then
which is horrifying. Watch it; it's horrifying.
Oh, that's the one about like trickle down economics, right?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, but they use some very visceral metaphors for
the most harmful type of economics that has ever been used in any economy ever. That people still go, well, it was great at the time. No, the worst ever.
It's ironically poor white people that still seem to think that it works. I don't know why.
Damn it, they not a critical thinker in the bunch. Not a critical thinker in the bunch. And it's like, God, man, you guys made steel before. That shit's crazy.
But like they pick 2 winning dishes, and then whoever was on that team with the winning dish, they get immunity. And then on the last team that didn't, they pick 2 of them, and they got to fight it out for who goes home. And then the loser of that goes home. I don't know. It's fun.
But it's all still cooking, right?
It's all still cooking.
Like people who are passionate, like artists about their craft, and then being like, "Dance for America."
Yeah, pretty much.
Fight it out.
Yeah, that's pretty much what.
Passion and make it cry.
Yeah. Like America's Idol.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would just be, as a comic, I would just be happy to get on the first round of America's Got Talent, get eliminated immediately, and just so I can say AGC. Like, that's the...
A friend of mine almost won a season of AGT as a comedian. Ryan Niemiller, he came in 3rd.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Nice.
He was living with us while he was shooting it. It was a lot of fun. It was good to shoot.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be insane. I don't know if I can handle that.
But
it's just weird because I'm at an age where I would just tell people, no, I'm not doing that. They're like, no, you got to do it and make it a whole big show. I'm like, no. I'm a grown man in control of my emotions. Sorry, cry for us. No.
Even if I'm fairly poor, as long as I got to like do what I want to do and enjoy it, then I'm happy. You know, I don't need to be like on top of the world. I just need if I have a living and I can do stand up and all that kind of stuff. Whatever, I'm happy.
Well, considering that you're a millennial, that's a very good goal for you to have.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, because we're going to die in the climate wars, right?
Money. We're going to be poor our whole lives.
Yep.
Yeah. Like if you were like, well, as long as someday I own a house, you're like, well, let me tell you something. That's not going to happen.
There's I saw a thing on the anti-work subreddit where it was like, there's a website called buyboomers.com that just fucking tracks obituaries, and then whenever the counter goes
down. The hell? Okay.
It's so fucked up. It's like
that is.
Yeah. Are you trying to tell me there's an unsavory Reddit group? You're trying to tell me there's an unsavory subreddit? Because frankly, I don't buy it. I've been on r/aw. Okay.
Yeah. I've been on r/aw and r/children falling over it. It's a great time.
I'm on anti-work so much that my phone started sending me notifications for it. It's just like I never asked for notifications. It's just like, we're pretty sure you want to see this, you commie whore. And it's like,
you commie whore.
Caleb and Atlas just showed me which was r/I'm a badass.
Oh, I am very badass. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what is happening here? Like one guy is like, oh, someone was talking about you, so I had to fight them. I got messed up. And it's like strawberry jam on his face. And the response is, that's jam, stupid. And you're like, what is happening with people? Like, I remember being young and dumb, but oh man.
Another good one is r/I am very smart. That's also a good one.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what's funny? I put one of your tweets on r/me IRL and it got me a bunch of upvotes.
Let's go!
Yeah. I can't tell you how excited I am as a 30-year-old woman to have a reason to openly be in love with Robert Pattinson again.
Oh, one of my tweets.
Yeah, one of yours. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You put it on by IRL?
No, me IRL.
Me IRL. Okay, yeah. I'm not on me IRL. I'll have to go check that out and be like, yo, I had like one Reddit post get a shitload of traction. Like it ended up on like the front page and stuff. And it was just a screenshot of one of my, like, it wasn't even my own joke. It was a screenshot of one of my friend's Tinder bios.
Oh my God. What was the sub?
Oh, God.
It was Tinder. I posted it on our Tinder.
Okay.
But her bio said, I just want somebody to come and fuck me in front of my roommate until she moves out.
I gotta say, posting on Anti-Work, your stuff will get traction like immediately.
I posted on Anti-Work a couple of times, but like the one, like, I mean, that one got like, it was like 52,000 or something, like,
oh wow,
nuts. Like it was one of those that like it just like ran away from me. Like
okay.
But like I've had some stuff on Anti-Work that like I've had good discussions with people about, especially bitching about Olive Garden. Like I've posted some of the bullshit they've done over there, but
I feel like that's an easy thing that's a low hanging fruit to bitch about. No, is that?
It's a low hanging olive, technically.
I have olive trees. That's fair.
I mean, I can get down with r/anti-work because I shit you. I am not kidding. I shit my pants at work today, and I don't think I can go back.
Are you serious?
I'm dead ass.
Literally dead ass.
Literally
No,
today.
Tell us,
dude. So I woke up this morning and my stomach hurt, bro.
Yeah.
It was in pain, and I wore a mask today just to show that like I was not well. And like I just had to like unleash like the demons into my fucking workplace bathroom, which in and of itself is traumatic. But like, dude, I was sitting down like at the front desk, and there was like a customer. Like I was talking to a customer, and like I felt like I had to let a little bit of a fart out. And dude, that shit was a squirter, bro. And that's the only experience of squirting I've ever had in my entire life, and it was terrifying.
Welcome to the
And,
club,
like,
sir.
Dude,
the Viking human experience: poop in your pants,
bro.
What do you do for work?
I sell furniture.
Used furniture.
I literally shit my pants.
Yeah.
I have to go into the bathroom. I investigate. There's just like a little like wet puddle, just the littlest puddle, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ! I can't go home and like change my pants. Like I don't know what I'm gonna. So I'm literally sitting there on the toilet, grabbing pieces of toilet paper, like swiping the inside of my fucking underwear. And then I have to like lay fucking toilet paper inside of my undies like it's a goddamn Depends or something. And I had to walk around like that for like 4 hours.
Oh my God. You poor bastard.
You're gonna need wet wipes, man. You're gonna get a rash. I'll just let you know that.
Diaper rash, I believe it's called.
Well, you know, it's just leaving poop on your butt. That's what happens.
I tried the Alabama wet wipe and that worked okay.
It does. It's
where you spit on your hand?
Yeah, it spit on the toilet paper, but yeah.
Which is funny.
On your hand, Kayla! Oh my
This is
God!
my most popular post on Anti-Work.
Listen, I'm sorry, I'm Southern. I don't know what to.
The best excuse to get out of work is and will always be diarrhea. Until next time, friends.
So listen, this is okay. I remember I worked at Canadian Tire when I was young. Canadian Tire is like AutoZone, I guess, the equivalent, something like that.
O'Reilly.
And I walked in. I was moving around, like I was restocking oil and stuff for cars and stuff like that's what I was working in the auto department. It was very cool. But at the same time, like once I got the runs, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm leaving. They're like, well, you still have work to do. I'm like, I'm gonna shit my pants.
Yeah.
They're like, well, just go to the bathroom. I'm like, no, I'm going home, you idiots. And
You don't understand. That
this job is. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm like this place. If I'm gonna shit my pants, this place is going to burn to the ground with anyone who knew I shit my pants in it. It's that
with
simple.
The methane used to strike the match.
It's not even, and they're still going to be going, maybe you should go home. I'm like, yeah, you think? I'm not going to shit my pants in public because you have a job to do. Eat my dick. Like, that's like, you got to, like, so Caleb, you got to realize, if that's already happened, you just go, that doesn't mean, well, the damage is done. I should just stick it out. Yeah, no. Fuck it. Just go home, have some self-respect and just be like, because you know what? You'll feel good when you get home. You're like, oh, this is what I needed. I needed to hose myself down, have a good shower, have a good scrub, okay, and get clean clothes on. And just because for that 4 hours, man, yeah.
I got the shits on the way home from work on Friday, which Dino partially knows this story. But I walk to and from work, and on the way home, I cut through a suburb. There's no business. So I'm walking home, and like you get the telltale like that stomach route, and I'm like, I have to get home now. I still have like a mile to go, so I'm like half jogging, half running, half looking for spaces, but there's none. It's like a suburb. There's people about. and everything. So it was the kind of thing where I debated stopping a mom with the stroller and be like, "Can I borrow a diaper?" Like, I thought.
Why is that the option?
What else are the options?
Diaper's gonna be like this big, bro.
Well, no, you like line your underwear with it. That was the idea.
Well, I mean, there's no scenario where someone's gonna hand this man a diaper from her diaper. She's gonna run with that baby. He's gonna be like, no, I meant not used, but she's already
Del Taco all over again, dude.
Yeah.
It's worse because there's more personal interaction.
I need a diaper.
Yeah. So like I ran and I made it home, but I was supposed to be on the stay-at-home show from Eargasm, the Dino host. So I was like, I can't do this because like I know it's a Zoom show, but you can't you can't do your set while currently having diarrhea. So I was just like, I'm not doing it.
You can't.
Well, then there goes my next 10 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So I like disaster averted, but goddamn, that was like, what are you supposed to do? You're out in nature, but not even out in nature. I
feel like part of the disaster averted was you interacting with anyone while you were trying to get home. That never do that.
I didn't actually do it. Like the thought crossed my mind,
and that's crisis averted because I'll tell you right now, that interaction would have resulted in a story that may have ended up in jail. It was that guy right there asked for a diaper.
Yeah, Del Taco too. That well, no, and the worst part was I was walking when I was like running back. There was an apartment near an apartment building near my apartment building that's under renovation. There was a fucking porta potty outside with a lock on it. I was like, God damn it!
A lot of the times, those porta potty locks are meant to look like they're locked, but actually aren't. May have been just for future reference. Because the whole idea is, if someone sees a lock, you can see a lock from far away, and you'll just assume that it's locked. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, it's just meant to hook on to make sure that no animal gets in there or anything like that. Boom.
You ever make a dookie in your denim, Kayla?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Not denim. They were you remember they're not so popular anymore. You remember like back in 2013, everyone wore those little all the girls wore those little plasticky shorts that had the little built-in underwear type thing. One of those, yeah. I was heading into FedEx to print off a headshot and a resume for an audition. Mm-hmm. And it was one of my biggest auditions that I'd gotten thus far. It was for Jason Alexander was directing a show in Little Rock, Arkansas at the big theater, the huge, gorgeous theater that they have there.
Cool.
He was a guest director, and I was auditioning for him. And on my way to print in my stuff, I shit my pants, and shit my shorts, and I didn't have enough time to go home and clean up and come back. So I just had to go in. And just be real. I had to go in and I'd print my stuff off, and I got fancy with it. So I was occasionally I would just look around for what that smell was.
Yes, yes.
It's
yes.
You got to look at someone else and be like
the diversionary technique.
Yeah, hope a mom walks in.
Throw them off the literal scent.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Wow. You're an animal. That's awesome.
Audition. I didn't get cast, but he told me great jobs.
That's a win. That's fine.
That you shit your pants.
Actually, the best compliment was they told me that they hadn't seen that Shakespearean monologue before.
Nice.
Ooh, I did one from Titus Andronicus.
Nice.
And it could have been you definitely haven't seen it with a shit-loaded short either.
To be fair, I didn't go to the audition. Like that. I went to FedEx.
Okay.
And then I was able to go home. What I didn't have time for was to go home, then go to FedEx, then go back home. I was able to I was able to go to FedEx and then go home and change before my audition.
I thought you were just auditioning with a full diaper, just fucking.
No, luckily not. Luckily not. At that point, if I had to go, I would have just skipped the audition. I don't have it in me. To maybe when I was 18 and I had the real the show must go on mindset so bad it was a problem. But by that point, I had a good grasp of like, look, sometimes things just happen and the show doesn't go on, and that's that.
I would have just made it part of the scene, probably.
You know, Kayla, you've been a great guest, and the only problem has been that I have argued with Atlas numerous occasions saying how no, everyone doesn't shit their pants. And he's like, yes, everyone shits their pants. I'm like, no, they don't. And you've kind of like proven me like a hard wrong on this, which I'm not really sure how to take it. If anything,
I will hold this above your head.
I mean, I don't want to drive the point home too much, but I have 3 times had to mute myself so I could take huge farts.
Okay, no, that's just ladylike. That's fine.
I tried to play it off to like I like muted it and I like farted real hard and
I assume one of those where you pretend to talk to somebody and you're like, yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah.
I ran into the kitchen to fart this morning while my girlfriend was over here on the couch, and it sounded like I thought I was just gonna like fire it off, and that was gonna be. It was so loud. It sounded like the trombone note at the end of The Price is Right failure. The that. And then from the other room, my girlfriend goes, "Babe, I love you," and I couldn't tell if it was in response to it or just bad timing. But
dude, you got to start recording your fart.
Room to fart away from your girlfriend.
What?
Did you go to a different room to fart away from your girlfriend? Is that why you went to the? You said you went to the kitchen to fart.
There was that, and then I was also getting a glass of juice. But
okay, so it was just on the way because I was like, listen, if you can't fart in front of your girlfriend,
no, fart in front of each other.
You were saying I proved you wrong. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to like drive home that point.
It's fine. Look, if anything, as a Greek man, it just means I'm that much better than everyone for another reason. So it's fine. That's fine. It's no, it's okay.
True philosophers don't shit their pants. That's
Listen,
said that.
You really can't shit your pants wearing a toga. Like everyone will know. There are a lot of nooks and crannies. It's not going to go well. That's just that's just physics. Okay, it's the math. You gotta go with the
your
math.
Toga. You can only shit the street.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen Bridesmaids.
That's the Greek way.
It's the Greek way. That's right. It's like the cobblestone was invented. No, it's fine.
What do you think cobblestone is?
It's still stone, sir.
It's
not petrified poop.
All right.
It's not lumps of poop in the street.
We got one more question for Kayla, but first, where can people find you and follow you and all that good stuff?
You can find me on Instagram at Kayla_cats_and_comedy, or just look up Kayla Esmond, ESMOND. I tend to pop up. I seem to be like the only one. There's like one other person who used to post like 6 years ago, but I don't think they post anymore. And then on Twitter, I am at Kaylawa, KAYLAWAA, no spaces, just at Kaylawa. And then I also have a website, www.kaylaesmond.com. So
cool. You can follow the show at Generation Dan on Twitter, and we got highlights and posted on YouTube and the Twitter and Dino's YouTube and all that good stuff. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell a friend, leave a review, all that good stuff. And then you
do
can
the
find
things
me,
and the stuff.
Do the things and the stuff. You can find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter, Instagram, or follow my other show at Nexus at Night. That's about trading card names. How about the rest of you?
Find me at Dino the Genetic Marvel. It's only me. There's no other. That's fine. Just Google it. And if you're not willing to Google it, then what are you doing? Come on. Have some respect for yourself. That's it.
I am at Caleb C. McDuff on Twitter. And if anybody else wants to celebrate their Irish heritage by tickling each other's balls with long leaves, let me know. It's been great talking to you guys again.
All right, our final question for Kayla. Being that you are also a comedian, what's your most memorable set? Good, bad, weird, or otherwise?
Well, the time I did like some time in jail for the holding cell, that was pretty interesting. But the most memorable, like I'm never gonna forget it, is the half abortion I had on stage. Like that's in there forever.
Continue.
That's the whole story. No.
Yeah.
So, before I moved to LA, this was one of my. This was like the towards the end of when I was in Little Rock. This would have been July of 2018, July of 2019. I'm trying to remember like exactly when I moved here, but I was doing Grease at the time. I was doing Grease at a local dinner theater, and we had a matinee. It was a Wednesday. We had a matinee, and I had a show that night that I was headlining. I was headlining at like a dive bar, and then I had a show the next night. So like the way that early term medical abortions work is you take a pill and that terminates the pregnancy. Like it's done. It like the hormones stop. So I took that after the Tuesday show. After my Tuesday show of Grease, I took that pill. And then 24 to 48 hours later, you're supposed to take a second set of pills. And that starts like the slip and slide portion. That's like where the pregnancy it's already over. Now it's going. But so I had to pencil it.
She broke Caleb.
I ended up pregnant, and me and my boyfriend, we didn't even have to like talk about it because like, and by the way, just so the people know out there, if you're over 175 pounds, Plan B does not work. Does not work. If you're over 175 pounds, Plan B is not. It's not a high dose for you. So like I didn't realize that, and I'd taken Plan B, and I was 200 pounds at the time, and I'm bigger now. Hey, but like I was too heavy for this, so the Plan B didn't work. So I ended up pregnant. Me and my boyfriend didn't even have to discuss it because like we already had the discussion. So I just like threw the pregnancy test at him, and I was like, "Did to me," and so we were like, "All right, let's go get an abortion," and so I had to pencil it in between my shows, like when I was going to do my abortion, because obviously it's a time-sensitive thing, and it takes a lot of planning because I was in Arkansas. So you got to go jump through all these hoops to get an abortion in Arkansas. So I had to like pencil it in between my shows, which made me feel very Hollywood. I don't know if you ever had to pencil in an abortion between your headlining day and your matinee, but I'm better than you.
I have no idea how to react to this information.
I gotta hear the end of this.
But it requires a lot of like setup and explainer. But so Tuesday night after my show of Grease, I take the pill. I go the next day. I do my matinee. I go to do my headlining set that night at the dive bar. And my plan was to take the second set of pills after the show. I was going to go home. I was going to take the second set of pills. We were going to do the whole thing. But I hadn't gotten to take the second set of pills. I walk on stage. I start off with a joke about like midway through an abortion, y'all. So let's hurry this bad boy up. And I just immediately, because leave it to even a dead child of mine to have a wicked sense of comedic timing. The second I say that, I just a rush of blood. Just like a huge gush of blood. And it's the only time I've ever left the stage as a comedian. I turn to the host and I go, "Hey, Alexi," the host of the show. I'm like, "Hey, Alexi, come take the mic from me real quick." And he comes and he takes it. I'm like, "I'm going to be right back." And I start to run, like, beeline towards the bathroom. And he goes, "What do I do?" And I was like, "Tell a fucking joke. What the fuck?" I run into the bathroom. And I just like look and I'm like, all right, no embryo, no fetus. Let's go, we're good. I take a wad of the dive bar paper towels and just like, ah! And I go back out. Because I mean, it's a dive bar, but it's still rude to drop a fetus in somebody else's plumbing. That's disrespectful. That's a party foul. So I go back on stage and I'm like, "Hey y'all, so apparently it started, let's get back to it." And I finish my set.
Yeah.
And then I come off stage, everybody wants to buy me fucking shots and shit. And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go!" I'm pregnant, but who gives a shit? You know? I'm just like down and like I take some shots, I drink a couple beers, and then I go home. I take the other set of pills. I finish the whole process. And that's the story of my on-stage work.
Why have you not told this story on stage, like, at the mic where I've seen you?
I've told it on stage a couple of times in, like, the right settings, but it's not really, like...
Even though California! Like,
my comedy is so my comedy is so abortion heavy, but like.
Yeah.
I did I wrote some jokes for that, like for the later portion about like having to fish it out of the bathtub, but it gets really like
graphic.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So like,
we broke Kayla.
It's a good story for podcasts, but it's not always like you really have to feel out a space to see if you can. I've told it like twice.
Still,
but
Jesus.
I'm glad we've made you feel comfortable enough to relay that information.
This is the best fourth question story we've had on this show. By far.
Well, I mean, I also, and not to like, I don't want to pat myself on the back to it because like it's a funny story. I love the story. Like I think it's hilarious. It's a story no other comedian has.
Say funny with that? Yeah, okay, sure.
I think it's hilarious. I like gave it a little high five on that. I was well done. But like. It's
fucking funny.
I think it's funny, but I do think it's important because like I think it's an important story to share. Not to pat myself, but like it's an important story because so many abortion stories that you get are rightfully very hard. They're very sad, so you don't get to hear like people feel too bad to share a funny abortion story. I feel like there's so much stigma. People don't want to share that. So I think it's important to sometimes be like, hey, abortion can be, a really rough thing for some people, but like for some people, it's just another day. It's just a fucking procedure.
Well, yeah,
that happened to me.
That's my favorite thing about comedy is taking tragedy and transforming it into levity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like finding your therapist dead in his chair. It's always a good time.
Oh, fuck! That was the funniest shit I've heard in a while.
It was so good.
Oh my God.
So. Yeah, Kayla, thank you so much for coming up. We will definitely have you back in the future.
Anytime. Anytime.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Make sure to take the abortion pit, the first one, after the show. And and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.